Hi, welcome to farm. Eddie here. We finally harvested our bulb onions, and we are now getting ready to prepare this section of the land to sow some coriander. So we actually got quite a good harvest for the onions. Despite a few challenges here and there. Remember, because when we transplanted those onions, it was during the dry period, and for the first 2 months of the for the first 2 months for the bulb onion, were fully on irrigation. Then later on, when they close to maturity, we started getting very heavy rains. But we are lucky enough that at least the onions are well matured, and they were able to get a good harvest. So soon we'll be doing another batch of the bulb onions. So now what I want to do is prepare this section and sow some coriander. We've been experiencing quite some heavy rains, and I don't want to take any chances. So what I want to do is I want to slightly raise these beds here, these beds here, before I sow the coriander. This is just a precaution. We've not had any issues with the soil here, at least despite the heavy rains. It's well draining, and we've not had any issues maybe with flooding or so. Although of course in some sections we've had too much rain. Even as you can see, some trees have been felled, but yeah, we've not had any issues. But just as a precaution, I want to do some raised beds, just to allow not to have cause my seeds not to be carried away. So first things first, I'm going to put up the ropes to guide me where the beds are. Put the drip lines aside, do the initial tillage to set up the raised beds. And now we can prepare to sow our coriander. So first things first, what I'm going to do is, if you notice, I use these poles here to mark my beds. So I'm going to get this rope here, to guide as a guide to show me where the beds are. So now I can do some slight tillage, and so that I can raise these beds at least slightly to avoid any flooding. But at the moment we don't have any issues with the soil. At least it's well draining despite the heavy rains. It's well draining. So we've not had any challenge, but I don't want to take any chances so that my seeds for the seeds to be carried away. So I'm going to slightly raise these beds. So the first initial step is I want to mark up where my beds are. Move the drip lines aside, do some tillage, and then we'll have our raised beds. I'll be doing 4 rows per bed. That will be a row on each side of the drip tip. That will be 4 rows per bed. So this is a tool I'll be using to dig up the trenches where I'll be sowing my coriander seeds. I'm then going to top up some compost, then redo the trenches again so that I can mix everything up before I now start laying down my seeds. So these are the seeds I'll be sowing. These are coriander seeds that I saved from a previous harvest some time back. I did this about a year ago. So I'm hoping that these seeds are still viable. So this is what I'm going to be sowing. So instead of broadcasting the seeds, I'll be planting them in position, just as dropping
probably about 5 centimeters spacing. The reason being, I want to have strong and healthy plants as they germinate, in case these heavy rains continue. The plants will have strong stems and they'll not be easily carried away by the rains. Because if I do the broadcasting and the plants are crowded, they'll have weak stems that will be easily washed away, or rather affected heavily by the heavy rains. The other reason why I may choose to plant like this is because I want to let, if the weather allows, I'm going to let this go to seed so that I can save those seeds to replant in the subsequent seasons. So if the weather allows, I'm going to let this. I'm not going to harvest it let it go to seed. Then I can save these seeds and use them as I use these ones. These ones also did the same, planted and let them go to seed so that I save them for replanting. So once I'm done, just cover up everything so lightly, like this, gently. Cover up everything like that. Lightly. If there are any clumps, you try to knock them out. Well, all in a day's work, I'm done with the sowing of the coriander seeds. All is done. So we are hopeful. I'm hoping that the seeds are still viable because as I told you, they are quite old. They are over a year since I stopped them. But I'm hoping they're still viable and I'm going to get a good germination. And so again today, the rain seems to have taken a break. So I've put on the drip lines. I will be doing some watering so that I can start the germination process. And hopefully in a week's time, about 7 to 10 days, the coriander will start sprouting. However, this I'm hoping to go to seed, so I'll not be harvesting at the 6-week period where we harvest for market. So I'll leave it to stay longer, so it can go to seed, so that I can save that seed and continue, sowing that in the future. So that's more like it. Thank you for watching. Till the next one, guys. Happy farming.